We're going to start with the state of Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, the sample size is 16,270. 77% of the polling was done in rural areas, 23% in urban areas. That's a very big sample, and they've gone to every single assembly constituency. So it's not as if this is done only in some polls. They've gone to all the 90 seats. But Rajdeep, as I said earlier, let's just keep it real. We want to just temper the excitement, not hype this. India won 10 matches back-to-back. Everybody thought, okay, they're going to win the finals, kuch aur ho hi nahi sakta, and then there was heartbreaks. We don't want any heartbreak. We just want to say this is a very rigorous exercise, thoroughly researched, lots of field work. But guys, this is a post-poll study. It's not the real data. It could well be. There's a 94% track record. But as our chairman says often, when you've got a big stick, talk softly. Therefore, just keep expectations real.
I think the significance of the polls that Access MyIndia does is they go constituency-wise. For the longest time, we would do random sampling. Now you go every constituency. So there's a greater chance of you getting it right because you've gone down to the micro level. And what has changed in India in elections, Rahul, is that, the wave doesn't go from across a state. Each region within a state also demonstrates definitive patterns. So I think that's why exit polls are so valuable. Someone asked me, why are you doing exit polls? We do exit polls because they are better than just predicting voter behavior based on your travels. This gives you some data to back up what you want to say. So I think it's extremely valuable.
Oh, it's because you learn more during an exit poll about what happened than you do in the real counting. The reason I say this is because you can't pick up how different genders voted, you don't pick up how different income groups voted, how different caste groups voted, because you get an aggregate figure during counting from the Election Commission. That's why you need to do polling to go down, understand what's happening in the castes, in the communities, in the groups. So it is just a few more seconds to go. And then we can start showing you the results. We'll start, as I said, from the 90 seats of Chhattisgarh. Rajdeep, just a few seconds.
By the time you walk from here to your plasma, we'll be ready with 5:30, which is the presumed time.
The Election Commission bold a googly. First, this was 6:30. Then they put out a corrigendum this morning saying that, oh no, it's not 6:30, it's 5:30. But you knew this for a long time, Mr. Election Commission. Why did you suddenly change your mind and throw all of us into a spin just in the morning? But hey, you have to go with the flow, and that's what we've done. So 5:30 it is, time for the first set of data. As I said, we will start with the battleground state of Chhattisgarh. Remember, in Chhattisgarh, 36 forts. No Congress government has been re-elected since Sheila Dikshit in 2008. So if Bhupesh Singh Baghel can lead the Congress to power again, it would be historic. Because especially in the Modi era, Congress governments have won only once. They tend to get voted out the next time. This would be historic if it does happen. I want to first show you what people said was the reason they voted the way they did. Why is it that they're voting? And that gives you a sense of how they are likely to vote. So what is it that drove voting behaviors? 20% said they voted for whichever party they were loyal supporters of. So that's 20%. Because of the MLA candidate came in next at 10%. Because of the development of the state came in at 10%. Because of the loan waivers for farmers came in at 10%. Because of PM Modi came in at 5%. Now this is a very big number because of all the people who voted the way they did. 5% said they voted the way they did because of Prime Minister Modi. Now who do they want as the next Chief Minister? Again, very interesting data set to pick up how people are likely to have voted. Who do they want as the next Chief Minister? Bhupesh Baghel, the incumbent Chief Minister, comes in at 31%. Raman Singh, who's not really from the state of Chhattisgarh, is seen, or at least the Congress tries to show him out to be an outsider, and was never really projected by the BJP. They had O.P. Chaudhary, Arun Saud. They created a new group of leaders who were propped up in this election. He still is the number one face at 21, whether he was projected or not. Anybody else from the BJP came in at 18. So that's the pack in terms of who people would like to be the next Chief Minister. Let's now come to the third point. Remember, elections were held here in two phases. Phase one was largely the Bastar region, which is the Naxal impacted region, 20 seats here, and then 70 seats happened later on the 17th. So on the 7th of November, you had 20 seats which went to the polls. Let's show you what happened in phase one. And remember, the theory in the Chhattisgarh region is whoever wins Bastar wins the state. That's really been the trend. So who wins Bastar wins the state. How does Bastar seem to have voted in these 20 seats? The Congress had 43% vote share, the BJP had 42% vote share, others had 14, which includes the Ajit Jogi party, or whatever is left over with his son Amit leading the party. The BSP now, very small presence, the increasing national diminution of the BSP. Another trend you will see, because they were a factor once even in Madhya Pradesh. So 43 plays 42. This is phase 1 Chhattisgarh. Let's now come to seats. Phase 1 seats, 20 seats, Chhattisgarh. The BJP in the lead in the first phase. 10 for the BJP, 9 for the Congress. A lot of these images created using generative AI, so a lot of technology at play as well in different ways. So some artificial intelligence in the visualization. The BJP leading on 10, the Congress on 9. So that's in phase 1. And Rajdeep, this theory that whoever wins Bastar typically tends to win the state of Chhattisgarh.
There were 12 seats in Bastar. The Congress won 11 out of the 12. Then one of the BJP, the winning candidate, was tragically killed by Maoists, and the Congress won it in a by-election. So they had swept Bastar effectively. In fact, they won 25 of the 29 tribal seats. Between Bastar and Sarguja, that's where the Congress dominated in 2018. So the first big number that you have put out is bad news for the Congress and good news for the BJP.
It's also a tight fight, 10 versus 9. That's a really close contest.
Yeah, but that's a huge drop for the Congress, because the Congress swept the region, so advantage BJP with these numbers.
Let's now come to the second phase in Chhattisgarh. Remember, 70 seats. The rest of Chhattisgarh went to polls, including the Raipur area, including the Sarguja area, which is where T.S. Singh Deo comes from. This is what the vote share looks like in these areas. 42 versus 41. Again, dead heat, which is why I said this election is so exciting, because it is so close. 42 versus 41. And when the vote share is like this, you can read, cut, interpret the data in any which way you want, because that really is a very, very close election. Let's now see how Access My India is converting this vote share into seats. Here it is for the first time. 70 seats in phase 2 went to polls on the 17th of November. Access My India is predicting for India today that the Congress will pick up 36 of those seats, the BJP 31, the BSP 2, others 1. So a 5-seat lead for the Congress in phase 2. What does this translate to if the entire state of Chhattisgarh is to be looked at? So let's now look at how Chhattisgarh looks if you consider the entire state. Remember, these are the first set of data that we are putting out coming from the state of Chhattisgarh. I want to take you through the vote share numbers. Access My India predicts for India today that 42% of the voters of Chhattisgarh will vote for the Congress. In the state of Chhattisgarh, 41% for the BJP. That really is a very, very, very close election. And when the numbers are that tight, it basically means whether you are Bhupesh Baghel, who was in our newsroom just yesterday, or a Raman Singh, who still thinks he's the strongest BJP leader, and the data too shows that everybody will have their hearts in their mouth and the money in their pockets, because you really don't want to be betting on this one. This is what the seat share projection looks like. 41 for the BJP, 45 for the Congress. Remember, there are 90 total seats in the state of Chhattisgarh. 45 versus 41. But if it's that close, even the pollster honestly can't really say for sure, because it's 42% votes versus 41 votes. That is a very, very, very close election.